Captain.
All right, Mr. Sulu. Let's see what she's got.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the dumbest modeling channel on all of YouTube, Pit Stain Hobbies. Oh boy, I have a death wish today. I'm back on the Enterprise refit, the model that breaks modelers. Oh man, whew. The 350 scale round 2 refit. Oh lordy. Yeah. I screw up a lot on this model, which is why I stocked up on extra stickers recently, because I figured I gotta get back on this thing. It took out Philip Spruverse, but his was more an electrical problem than a modeling problem. Yeah, Philip Spruverse, and then Wayne, World of Wayne, he had a paint mishap with his refit, and he sort of chucked it off to the side of the hobby shop, and he's just like, I can't look at it right now. And that's how I felt about mine for a long time. I still do. But one of our Discord people that I'm friends with, and we have some viewers and things. They really wanted me to work on the refit again, so I started working on the refit again. So I started working on the neck because the neck hasn't frustrated me much yet, and it frustrated me. Of course. Either way, like and subscribe, comment, email me. Free stickers are always available. I don't have to screw up. You could just ask for free stickers. You don't have to catch me. I was making a game of it, but I'm like, it's not a game. I have like hundreds of stickers floating around me now. So these uplights on the neck, the Tenacontrols setup, I don't even know where I left off before. So the last part of this video, somewhere completely different. Apologies. But on the neck, the uplights, there's a couple clear parts that go in here. And of course they don't fit. If you put yours in and they don't seem to seat all the way, you gotta file the outside edges of them, and then this rearmost light, you have to file a bit on that. And even the openings, you might need to file a bit in there. So like a little fine square file will be fun for the holes, and a nice flat file for filing the outer edges of the plastic bit that goes in here. And Tenacontrols calls for a 3mm LED. And a white one, obviously, and it's just kind of like pointed sort of this way. And it doesn't really direct a ton of light up the clear part. Now, their electronics are beautiful, but they give you like very 90s tech LEDs with it. So I replaced that with two 0805 SMDs per side, so that we get a beautiful, nice, bright uplighting effect coming out of those holes. And so these have been running test lighting for a while. And let me turn that off, and let me turn my voltage down to like 1.9. And then I'll just light up one side of this thing. Or maybe I'll light up both. I don't know. Let's see here. Where's the wire? Where'd that wire go? There we go. The photon burrito launchers. Look, that's just what I'm saying from now on. This is the second prize, and it's me. If I want to call them photon burrito launchers, I will call them photon burrito launchers. The photon burrito launcher is 1.9 volts, and contact. Okay. So we got one on each side. They both do the same thing. We have our Shapeways photon torpedo section. You see, look, it's got even through holes in there. So like it really will make that area glow nicely. Well, it's hard to see with my overhead lights and the fact that the LED's blown out. But you gotta, come on, focus. Sand down the edges in there until this thing really, really scooches in there well. And yeah, gets down on the part. Maybe it's this way. Let's see. There we go. Oh, no, I knocked out my LED. Oh, son of a... I glued this in with clear resin. I use clear resin because it won't fog like CA glue. But the only problem with the clear resin as a glue is it really doesn't bond to anything for a damn. It really doesn't. If a part's never going to have any stress on it, you can get away with a clear resin. But on the back of the light, honestly, I don't care if it fogs. So I'm going to just put a little CA on there. And I'm going to... where's my stuff? Where the hell's my kicker? I know I own it. Oh, I'll take out the spray kicker. Here we go. There we go. I'll put a little kicker on it. Yeah, I don't care if it fogs because I've actually got to probably cover up the back of this Photon Burrito LED with some black tulip paint to keep that LED when it lights off from lighting up like this front window with red light. I don't know if that would be cool or not cool, but I don't think it would be accurate either way. We got our little rear vent in here. And if you've been watching the Hobby Time Modelers live streams that I partake in weekly, our Sunday stream on October 15th, within about 20 minutes of the beginning of the stream, I tried to open a jar of paint using a pair of channel lock pliers, and this workbench was not gray for a while. It was, I'm going to get that blooper reel. I'm going to put it in. But yeah, there's our Photon Burrito light. And so we got two of those in. And then we've got, let's turn off our power again. And let's disconnect from here. And I'll just light up one side. And we've also got our interior neck lighting that we've installed. Again, it has self-stick adhesive on the back of these LED SMD strips. But always supplement that with a little bit of CA glue along the edges because the adhesive on the back of those strips is not great to begin with, and LED strips are known to get a little warm. Oh, that's why, because I'm at 1.9 volts. Turn it on, 12 volts. There we go. So if we, carefuling Ian. Well, Ian's never carefuling, really. If we go ahead and if I could possibly put this thing together. There we go. So that lights up our windows very nicely. And once we have both sides lit up, because I have lights in approximately a similar location on the same side, on the other side, it'll bounce the white paint on the inside, will bounce the light all around. We have to put our little laser cut acrylic windows in all of these little holes here. And if you notice, now that these aren't on, they look green. That's because I've got some of this Mr. Hobby Masking Neo liquid mask on there. This is just what I have. This is the brand I have. I ordered some, and this is what I use now. I've used a few different brands of liquid masks. They all work basically the same, mediocre. And yeah, that's where we're at with the neck. It honestly fits together pretty well. Don't have too many complaints about the neck. Surprising for me. I'm Mr. Complain about the refit. Like, it's my channel motto. It's the dumbest channel on YouTube and constantly complains about building the refit. I will never, ever do commission work for a refit. I mean, I would probably never do commission work in the first place. Who'd want this dumbass building commission models for you? That being said, yeah, this thing is, I think even Boyd at TrekWorks said he was trying to get away from doing commission refit builds for a while. For a very good reason. It's a pain in the ass one to build. I think TOSs, you could probably build 10 TOS Enterprises in the time it takes them to build one refit. Fully tricked out. Maybe it's not that ratio, whatever. I'm making things up. But either way, that's it. Okay, so this is just the beginning of the video. We're gonna get the neck basically put together. I'm not gonna do any finish painting on here, and then I'll probably get back over. I've got to get over this hump. I think once I get the bridge and the planetary sensor array glued on to the saucer halves and get my impulse light into the impulse crystal and get all my wiring done in the saucer, And my engine light, I got to get my impulse engine lights in and get those wired in. I think once I have that done and the saucer gets snapped together, I think I'll feel a lot better about this model. But for right now, yeah, either way, oh man. So either way, 4 SMDs in these uplights as opposed to a single regular LED as per Tenacontrols, and photon burrito lights, 2 3mm red LEDs. Inside here, just 4 total strips of 3 SMD light sections of strip, which was the smallest I can cut. You can get some other SMD stuff, like you can get some of these new Cobb things that are 5mm, 3mm in white, and you can cut these things in like 3/4 inch sections, and each one has like 9 LEDs in there, and they're very diffused, and it would probably be better, but I don't have any of this in white, so I'm using the strip that I have in white. I'm definitely, so these are blue. I'm definitely using this Cobb LED strip for the chiller grills, for the warp nacelles. Totally using this stuff. It diffuses beautifully. You don't have to go as crazy trying to worry about hot spots, like shoving, what's this? Here we go. Hold on. You don't have to shove pillow stuffing into your damn nacelles. Buddy sent me this just in case I needed it. But yeah, so I'll put a link to the Cobb strips on Amazon. I've tested them. They're nice. They run on 12 volts. They're beautiful. You want to see them? Okay, I know you want to see them. Let's just do it. Here we go. Disconnect. I should probably turn off the hot. Turn off the hot first. So many wires in the ship. Oh my God, it's ridiculous. You want to see blue daylight? Here we go. Look at that. Looks like a damn lightsaber. In real life, you could just you can make out the individual segments, but they're so small and so close together that this stuff is better than sliced bread. It's amazing. That being said, I'm going to take a quick break for the night, and oh, wait a second, 5mm. They also have 3mm. You want to get extra cray-cray. Wait, wrong movie franchise. We're on Star Trek tonight, not exactly. It's really beautiful stuff. It's a little difficult to find on eBay. You can search for it, and it doesn't quite come up sometimes. So I'll put some links to the 3mm and the 5mm. But it's pretty nifty. I'm using it in I'm using this 3mm in my Tidarium shuttle at the back for the engines, and it looks absolutely fantastic. Either way, we'll be right back. It may be tomorrow for me, but it'll only be a few seconds for you. 1 second. All right, well, we've been doing a little bit of work down here. Had the space heater going for a while because it's just getting chilly in Georgia. Woo! Okay, so specifically if you're doing the Tenacontrols, super duper mega Bluetooth, everything, the cool movie in a box board. Lots and lots of separate circuits. So these interior neck lights, that is a separate circuit. You could turn on the neck lights separate from the secondary hull lights and separate from the saucer lights. So we need to make sure we've got enough, cable, and we tie things together. The exterior neck illumination lights, all the negatives terminate to a white connector on connector number 2, I believe. But you got to read your manual. Yeah, so this is exterior neck lighting. Yeah, white on connector 2. So we got to really be careful. Once you got to label these things. You got to make sure you have enough home run. Left and right photon torpedoes each have a separate wiring connector for each of them. Okay? So this blue and this green, these are specifically to a blue and green on another connector. There'll be a common positive or negative, generally, on all of these circuits. Basically, one leg of each of these lights, everything in the ship, basically, one leg of everything in the ship is going to go to a specific circuit on the Tenacontrol board, or it's going to go to the red or the black number 1 connector, which is the feed from your 12-volt power supply. When you've got all your stuff wired together, Wire management, you could glue the wires down to make sure they don't fall in front of a window or something, so you don't see them from the outside. We are going to sand up our windows a little bit, so we shouldn't have that problem. We've put in this little rear vent thing here. It escapes me at the moment what it's called. And then we're going to get ready to sandwich these together and throw in the photon torpedo insert from Shapeways. You want to make sure you get all your paint off of the edges. If you've painted over these with your with your light blocking or your white paint, you want to get that all off. And then there's these little grooves. It's like a tongue and groove joint right here. You want to get in there vertically and horizontally on both mating surfaces and scrape that back down to white plastic. Now, I saw this on Sprueverse. Phil, he had a slightly different one, but this is a Trumpeter Master Tools scraper. It is insanely sharp and very rigid and stiff, and I was using this to scrape the paint out of those little grooves. So you get in there, and it really lets you scratch your exterior paint if you're not careful. But you can just scrape it along inside there. Come on. There we go. And this will allow you. And I've already gotten down to the black light block coat. You want to scrape in all of those grooves. Get as much paint out as you can. And then now gluing this together, also these pegs, make sure. I didn't get much paint inside these female pegs. The male pegs I took a sanding stick to and got most of the paint off. You just need some bare plastic for the glue to bond to. Now, normally everything I build, I just use Tamiya Extra Thin, which is, our normal go-to, aka Tamiya airbrush cleaner. Let's not fight in the comments about that, okay? Let's leave that one alone. But this stuff, it does the same thing that Tamiya Extra Thin does. However, it dries much slower. It evaporates considerably slower. So I like to use this when I have to do a lot of seams and just get a lot of glue all over the different places. By the time you've put your Tamiya Extra Thin cement over here and you start going over here, that side's already evaporated and it becomes kind of useless. You could, however, just do some cement on these posts and then slap it together and then wick the Tamiya Extra Thin in, which it will wick in. Some like witchy term or something. I don't know. I hope the Blair Witchies don't come after me. But either way, that's what we're going to do. We're going to get this glued together and get our photon burrito launcher module inserted in the front to do that. So, yeah, it's 6 of this, half a dozen of the other, oh boy, it's nerve-wracking just gluing something together. Because I'm like, oh, did I forget something? What if I got to do something else? I don't know. But yeah, you can see how much wire we have coming out of here. 3 of these leads are extra super duper long because they have to go all the way down to the circuit board directly. And then the other ones we're going to try to bunch up as many as we can and just drop one wire down the tube to the base because there's only so much room inside that metal tube. And we're using the stock size, stock mounting location, stock size pipe. So there we go. Yeah, it'll be nice. It'll be nice. The fitment is so-so, pretty okay, I would say, on the back. Now, like this little part here, you could wait until you glue the rest of it together and then just come back and do that one separately. So you can get it exactly as close as you can for the minimal amount of sanding. Up front, there's still going to be some minor sanding and filling required here and there. Like the front here, this one. See, it's got that little bit of bow. So you might want to do that last, like leave that unglued up to like there, and just glue this part. It's up to you. I'm on the fence. Actually, we do have really good access to the inside of this. So what I might do is let's just do this. Let's just do the posts. Okay, posts. Get all on there. On there. You know what? We have such good access to the inside of this neck. Definitely. We're gonna sandwich her together. Okay. Look at me gluing something together live on camera. And we're gonna get our, come on. You gotta get that in. There we go. So we're gonna, okay, we've got all the posts together. And what we can do is clamp that, and then after these posts dry, we'll go back and we're gonna pinch all these shut and run Tamiya extra thin down here and wick it down. That'll work fine. We could even get to the back behind the photon burritos. So that's good. We can get to the bottom here. So that's good. We can get in the back of the neck. We've got good distance. If we need longer reach, you just take a regular longer paintbrush and dip it in there. You just don't use that paintbrush for anything else. That's your extra thin cement only paintbrush moving forward. There we go. So we're just going to let that set up. I'm going to work on the seams and clamp it together, and we'll come back with the finished product. Be right back. Alrighty then, we're back. A lot of reading the wiring diagram, a lot of following that, and a lot of wires have been consolidated and color-coded. Now, the Tenacontrols board has red, black, yellow, green, blue, white, orange, and brown or purple, depending on the version of the board you get. The wire harness may be slightly different. If anyone's wondering, I am using this stuff. BN Tech Go, 30 gauge. I also have 28 gauge, but it has red, black, white, blue, green, pink, purple, orange, yellow, and brown. So we've got more than enough colors of wire so that we can color code all of our runs of where they go to the board. But you say there's 5 connectors on the Tena board that all have all these colors. Well, okay, that's where this comes into play. So now, like if this goes to red connector number 1, I got 1 red Sharpie marker on there. If this goes to white connector number 2, I've got 2 Sharpie markers on there. There we go, now you're focusing. Same thing, 3, 4, 5, whatever. So like the photon burrito launchers, that's green and blue on connector 5. And police your voltage when you're testing things, because the photon burrito lights are not resisted. The board is resisted for these lights. So I have my my power supply set at 1.9 volts, which is about correct for red LEDs, and fire the photon burritos. There we go. You might hear a little barking in the background, but yeah, fire the photon burritos. So that's great. Then we can disconnect that, and then we can do something like we've consolidated all of our neck up lights and all of our neck interior lights onto these 2, and these both go to red connector number 1, which is basically directly to the 12-volt power supply that we'll be using to power this thing. And then the white connector is going to go to, that's a negative, that's going to go to power supply, to circuit board harness number 2 on the negative, and then all of the negative neck interior lights, they are triggered by circuit number 3, number 3 blue. So we're gonna clamp those together, and then we're gonna set our voltage at 12 and hit the lights. And look at that bad boy. There we go. Now we've wicked in all of our extra thin, and you can see there's a little goop squeezing out there, a little black paint. That's fine. We're going to gently sand all these seams and fill. But you can see we've got that glued together nice. So we did all these exterior parts with, to me, extra thin. Even back here, come on. We got that as even as we could. Now here's the problem is I couldn't use clamps. I do this a section at a time and just hold it because there's no 90-degree angles here, and the plastic little cheapy Harbor Freight clamps would just slide right off. We do need to do a little bit of paint touch-up on the joints here, so we'll just mask off things after we sand a little bit to smooth out those joints. If we need to rub a little filler in, we will, and then we'll just mask off everything and just little more white Tamiya or Mr. Hobby primer on there. I think I'm using Mr. Finishing Surfacer 1500, so you get a really nice smooth white finish on there. Because we're also going to be laying down a lot more paint on top of these things. But yeah, there we go. So we're all glued together. This is the first part of the ship that I've actually committed to gluing two halves together in God knows about a year of working on this damn thing. But all of our wiring harnesses are consolidated, heat shrink tube, everything, because this is all going to come into a conflagration in the secondary hull behind the deflector dish. It's all going to jam in there. You just stuff it like a Thanksgiving turkey in there. So you don't want any bare leads anywhere. You don't want any short circuits. Possibly what could have happened to Fillet Sprueverse, I don't know. But we don't want any short circuits if we can help it. I've got a zip tie here. This is a total failure. The loop was way bigger and my extra wire was way shorter before. I've got to come up with a plan B for that one. Maybe some tape or heat shrink. Maybe I'll just wrap them and tube them and heat. I don't know. But either way, everything's been heat shrinked very carefully to consolidate them. So some of these wires are shorter because we're going to consolidate them behind the deflector dish, and some of these are longer because they have to go all the way down to the circuit board, to the Tenacontrols main board. But that's where we're at right now, and I think this is a good place to leave off with this episode. It's, you know, I still got to shove some laser fire 3D laser cut windows into all these holes, but we've seen that on a previous part, how I deal with that. I sand the back of them to frost them, then I shove them in, and if they have their masking film still on them, fine. If they don't, I put exterior masking film on them. I'll put that on later. You know, so if you see a little bit of color in the wire, that's actually going to possibly give a nice effect of a little bit of color shift in some of the windows, like, oh, something's going on inside those windows. You know, if we see a little blue or green or red or white or whatever it is. But yeah, that's where we're at now. But yeah, this is, God, I mean, this is such a minimal part of the ship, but it feels like a big piece of progress for me because it's basically physically done. So again, as always, zoom out. There we go. We got our flux capacitor, our Ghostbusters belt gizmo going. We've got new hologram bloody stickers. Like, subscribe, comment, email me. I have stickers. I have stickers coming out of my wazoo. Email me. You want stickers, you get stickers. Everybody gets stickers. I'm like Oprah giving out Pontiacs. You get a sticker. You get a sticker. Cover Henry Winkler and Bees. Everyone gets a sticker. But thank you for watching, and please stay tuned. And please, hey, check out the Partworks videos. They're pretty cool, too. There's not a lot of painting and fitting and everything involved. It's all like screwing things together, but they're really cool models also. So thanks for watching again. Well, you know, the thing. Captain's Log signing off. We'll see you next time. Adios, everybody.